Hi everyone, my name's Colin Ewan. I'm a software developer at Skynet, and today we'll be talking about a new feature of the Cogent DataHub, writing to Apache Kafka and reading from Apache Kafka. First, we'll discuss how to write to Apache Kafka. And we start by going to External Historian, selecting the Apache Kafka type, and filling in the information. We'll start with the label, a topic name, and the bootstrap server. Next, we have partition ID. We don't need to fill this in as we're not reading from or writing to a specific partition ID. Now we move on to the producer count and the message split count. The producer count determines how many producers are needed to send messages, whereas the message split count allows you to section your message batch into multiple sections. We have an accumulation time, and we have maximum number of buffered values, which will all leave default. And we have log writes at information level. This allows you to see it in the event log each time you have a write. We'll select the security protocol that we want, plain text and plain. We won't need any of these credentials. We're not using event hubs for this demonstration. And finally, we're at document settings. This is mandatory. We'll look at document contains multiple points. For this demonstration, we'll be writing a point at a time. And we'll open up the document definition. There are three panes in the document definition. The first one is the ASP script. The second one is a common formulas with templates and samples. As we're writing a single point, we'll select the JSON single point. An example will show up on the side, which tells you how the message will be sent up to Kafka. Next, we have modified point names, data sampling, and forwarding. For the purposes of this demonstration, we won't need to select any of these. We'll be writing DataPid data, MVPV, and SP, which has sample values. Now if we click apply, we can see that's running. We can open up the connection viewer, and we can see that points are being sent. We can also use Offset Explorer to see the written data. Here we open Offset Explorer. We have a plain connection to localhost 9092. We can connect, and we can see our topic here, Kafka topic. We see the partitions that we have, and we navigate on over to data. Once we click the read, we can see all data coming in that's being written from the DataHub to Kafka. And here we have our live data. Next, we'll learn how to read from Kafka. So we go to the Event Streams plugin. We open a new configuration. We select Kafka, and we fill it in. Make sure to use the same topic name as before. Same bootstrap server as before. Your group ID can be whatever you'd like. Here we have the data domain name. The data domain name allows you to specify which domain you'd want to place your points in. However, if there's already a domain name in the messages that you're receiving, for example, DataPid, then that takes precedence. We'll leave this blank. We'll navigate over to security, plain text, plain, and ignore the rest of these credentials. Here we have storage and checkpointing. We can either have the earliest offset, which is the earliest message in Kafka, the latest offset, which is the current time, or a specific date and time. If we don't select anything, then it'll read from the stored checkpoint of this current configuration. As this is a new configuration, we'll just select the earliest offset to get all the points. We didn't select any partition, so we'll read from all of them. And finally, we have point type. This is the equivalent of the document definition in the right side. So we'll open up this dialog. And here we have the advanced parser. Here we have a template for single point. We can specify the type of input we're going to receive, generate a schema, which will create a JSON schema. This tells the DataHub what format the message will be in. So we have a name, we have a value, quality, and timestamp. The parser script tells the DataHub how to parse. So it'll take the name, it'll take the value, quality, and timestamp, and then write it out to the DataHub. If we click test, we can see here that this message was written out to data PID1MV, with a value of 0, a good quality, and a timestamp. Once you're okay with this, you click OK, and we move on to ignore failed points. We do not want to ignore any failed points. We continue on. We're going to close the data PID, as we're going to be reading points back into the data PID domain. Here we can see that there are no points incoming from data PID anymore. We're going to minimize this. We're going to turn on the read from Kafka, and we're going to open back up the data viewer. Now we can see that the Kafka read is coming back with points. We can also check the connection viewer and see that the DataHub is writing points to Kafka, and now it's also reading points from Kafka. That's it for my tutorial today. Thank you and have a great day.